I don't know if I'm on a video call or if it's just audio, but good morning, and I will make it quick since there's no video. Not that I'm that much to look at, but okay, so our fourth quarter listing contest, wanted to update you on that. Remind you that it's a $2,500 marketing credit or a all expense paid, all expense being hotel, airfare, and tuition for the Mike Ferry Productivity School, January 27th through 29th in San Diego. So keep that in mind. The $2,500 marketing credit can go towards a lot of the things that are in the cost versus value sheet. So review that. Those marketing dollars, we're giving out more and more of those at our monthly sales meetings because that money comes from the Culture Fund. The Culture Fund, of course, is fines that you pay for late or incomplete contracts, things like that. Well, that all goes towards these marketing dollars and things that you can use for free. So we're rolling out, we're still on schedule to roll out our new marketing templates and packages for our just listed, just sold cards. Also our 4-page luxury marketing brochures. You can use those on any properties. They don't have to be luxury properties, so it can be a way to really set yourself apart. I only know of 2 firms in Dallas that use that quality, the stock of paper. We want to be comparable, if not better, than the best luxury brokerages in the marketplace. So we're making progress, and I see our agents moving their average sales price up, and that's encouraging as well. So keep in mind the activities for fourth quarter will dictate your income for next year. And I see our new licensees that their income, they're on track to do double what they did this year. And that's the great thing about real estate is that the first year as a new licensee, when you can do $60,000 to $100,000 in gross commission income, then the second year as your commission split is moving up and your profitability essentially doubles. And then year after year after that, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to give yourself a raise of 20 to 30% every single year. I don't know of any other business you can do that. But we all know that what attributes to that is consistency and consistent behavior. So we all know what we need to do in this business to generate that income. And it starts with your sphere of influence, your clients, and your sphere of influence, of course, is by far the most profitable business. Your GeoFarm is also profitable. So let's talk about some things on that. And that's what I want to chat with today. Fourth quarter, sometimes there's reluctance with sellers to list, maybe when their kids are in school, or maybe when they're thinking about the spring market. But keep in mind, know how to counter those objections. Understand that there's fewer buyers in the marketplace fourth quarter, but there's also much fewer sellers. Show them the numbers, educate them. There's a lot less competition out there. So there's a likelihood that a buyer could pay a premium for your home versus if the home on the corner or down the street pops up on the market in the spring, which that's very highly likely, then that home could be competing with your listing. And if you have less competition now, then you have a greater probability of selling. Another objection that you have common this time of the year with sellers as well, I don't want to keep my house in good condition. I don't want to have to prepare for showings. I don't want to have to deal with the trouble of showings. I had it on the market last year, or I know what it's like with the showing activity. Remind them once again that there's fewer buyers out there, so there's fewer times that they have to have their home ready, show ready. So as far as the nuisance or the trouble of showing, it's not as great as it would be during the summer or the spring. But those buyers that are looking are very motivated buyers, especially buyers that are looking around the holidays, around Thanksgiving and Christmas, because there's less competition on the market. We have State Farm moving into Richardson. We have Toyota moving into Plano. We have Active Networks moving into Dallas. So every major market in the Metroplex is experiencing huge job growth next year. There's a lot of those buyers that are getting a jump start. So those offices, those relocations won't even be officially taking place, many of them until next year. But there's buyers out there now that are getting a head start on the inventory because they see that there's a lack of inventory for next year. So educate your sellers that there are buyers out there that are making moves now, preparing for next year. So the GeoFarm, one of the things I want you to think about in your GeoFarm is As we always talk about, small behaviors lead to great habits, and great habits lead to high production and high sales volume. So start with time blocking your schedule 2 hours a day. If you have that where it comes before everything else and it's prospecting, then keep in mind you can get creative with prospecting. There's different forms of prospecting. It's not just cold calling just around just listed or just sold. It's not just calling your sphere of influence, but think about it a little bit deeper in your geo farm. How can you go deeper by prospecting and creating engagement, maybe on Facebook in your geo farm? Are you identifying who the neighbors are in your geo farm, and are you friending them on Facebook? What are you doing as far as promoted posts or ads that are targeted directly to your neighborhood? Are you putting the name of the neighborhood in your ad? Are you putting something that creates engagement in your Facebook post and your promoted posts that are in a specific geographic market? Because keep in mind, every person you add to your database in that geo farm, it could be very, very powerful, because you, of all people, should know those stats better and know the numbers and be able to contribute more value in your geographic area than any other realtor there. So you technically have the power to create more engagement than anyone else in that geographic farm. But you have to know your numbers. By the way, September sales numbers were just posted last week. So go into Netris and look at the September single family report in your MLS area. Generally, if you focus on your MLS area, that's a good soundbite for you when you're, whether at the grocery store, whether you're at the nail salon, wherever you are throughout the week, to be able to talk about the numbers intelligently. But drill down further. Keep in mind, monthly numbers in your MLS area are normally pretty accurate. But for your actual geographic farm, for your the name of your subdivision or neighborhoods that you're focused on, then you need to pull quarterly data. So you need to go back 90 days, and you'll have to crunch those numbers yourself. Make sure, there again, you know what those are every month. You're crunching those numbers. That's set up in your Outlook. It's a reminder, maybe the 7th or the 10th of the month, that you're going to go in and do that. If it's crunching it yourself, normally by the 5th or the 7th of the month, most brokerages have the solds posted for the previous month, and you can still get a pretty accurate reading. So the 6th or 7th day of each month is when I would put that reminder on your calendar to crunch those numbers for that last quarter, the last 90 days, and then let them know, in the last 90 days, we've had this many sales in this price range. We've had this many sales in this price range. That was one of the takeaways that I've had over the last few weeks studying other top realtors, is that more and more of the top realtors are focused on a geographic farm than they've ever been. Jennifer Ames in Chicago, Illinois, sold over $150 million of real estate in the last year, and she's focused on just a few square blocks in Chicago. She refers everything outside of her geographic area to other realtors in Chicago. That's how she has the massive business that she does, is because she focuses on a tight area, but she goes deep instead of wide. And real estate is local, and our agents that are doing that and the top producers that are doing that are the ones that are growing organically and creating the most value to their client base. That's something I thought of earlier this week. Is I use the term and I use the word value a lot, and I think I've heard people ask me about that. How do we create more value? What is that? Maybe an easier way to think of it is just, how is it you're helping people? If you're helping people, if you are always keeping that on the forefront of your mind, how is it I'm helping this homeowner? How is it I'm helping this for sale by owner? How am I helping this person in my sphere of influence in any regard, whether it's by recognizing their birthday or their anniversary on their home, or sending them a note on their wedding anniversary? There's a lot of touch points that you can help. Even if it's brightening their day, you're helping that person. And by providing that light in their life, and by helping them and having that servant heart spirit, just that simplicity in your business. Oh, well, now I have video, it looks like. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Okay, so to continue where we left off, I want to make sure you listen to the Melinda Estridge CD. She's someone that was with me in Vermont last week, a great inspiration. She does close to $100 million in sales volume a year. And she is doing more geofarming than she ever has before. She's been licensed for over 30 years, and she's more focused on her specific area than ever. And this, to me, was a real wake-up call. And I think it's because of how the industry has changed. More people are using Zillow, Trulia, technology for search. So they're searching for properties online. And then when they do come in contact with a realtor, whether it's via Zillow or whether it's an online source, then they want a realtor that knows and understands that local market, because real estate is local. And many times that expert will have inside inventory so that also goes back to Facebook. So to pick up where we left off on the Facebook engagements, what are you doing to create interest in your area? Another idea that you could use is to set up your sellers or just homeowners in your geographic farm that are on Facebook, set them up on a seller auto campaign. So they're on the listing portal and they're notified of new listings or new sales in their area, because they can be notified of new listings by Zillow, Trulia, other things, but there's no other product out there that notifies them of recent sales. And that's what is really important if they need to understand and to have a true understanding of the value of their home. And such, in Forest Hills, would you like to be notified of when your neighbor's home sells? Click here. So there's easy ways to do that to create engagement. Think of other ways. Melinda Estridge had a great idea on her CD last month about how she has a clothing drive I think it's once a year or twice a year in 2 different geographic farms. She works 2 different geographic farms about, I think, 5 or 10 miles away from each other. And this clothing drive, she generally gets between 50 and 80 names of people and their email addresses that come to that clothing drive and drop off things in this parking lot or church, wherever she designates. Now, you guys have heard me talk about in the past of you coordinating this, putting flyers out on doors of a certain date on a Saturday morning, preferably, to where you go and pick up their clothes that they'd like to donate, and then you leave a receipt for the amount that they specify. So you have to partner with an organization, a local clothing organization, and here we are coming up on 4th quarter. Charity is on everyone's minds, and the weather's getting colder. People are changing out their closets and looking at their fall wardrobe. They're cleaning and purging some of their wardrobe. No one likes to just throw away clothes. We like to see them go to good use. So timing is important on these things. This would be a good time to do something like that, some sort of a clothing drive in your area. But you've got to get the flyers out. And there again, that's something of creating value. You're doing something for the community, and that's helping those sellers and helping those buyers. And that's where your minds need to be. So challenge yourself. Sit down in a room 20 minutes with no distractions and think, what are 20 ideas that I can do? How can I really get involved in my community to create value to help my sellers or prospective sellers that would also capture their email address and create engagement? So there's so many different ways you can do that, whether it's flyers canvassing the area or Facebook promoted posts or through your local community and businesses. Your local community businesses can be your greatest advocates, but you have to create those relationships with them. So work towards that, and every contact that you make from those efforts needs to go into your KDNA. So that way you have the other thing I was looking at some other numbers on how many contacts does it take to generate a listing appointment and a listing. So these are the numbers that you need to be focused on. Is I want a listing appointment a week. If I can just get a listing appointment a week, then there's ways that the rest of your business plan will fall into place for next year. I guarantee it. And if you just focus on that listing appointment a week, and to do that, we know that you need between 80 and 120 contacts a week. So what are you doing to generate between 80 and 120 contacts a week? Now those contacts can be voice to voice, they can be face to face, they can be at an open house, or it can be a Facebook dialogue, it could be a text dialogue or engagement. So what are you doing to create 120 engagements a week? These are some great ideas, but you have to put them into place and use them, and more important than anything, be consistent with them. I'm going to send out a summary. Brian's also working on a summary of today's call, and since we've kind of had a glitch with I don't want to take up too much of your time, and we're going to email out some of these things that I talked about. And Brian's also going to email out a great dialogue that you can use on Facebook to capture buyer engagement. And this is something he went to a course, and Prospect Mortgage is an authorized lender to conduct the City of Dallas subsidized housing discount. So this is up to $20,000 that your buyers can use for down payment assistance on new construction. That is a fantastic Facebook post. I would get that out. I would tag everyone I would think that you could think of that could create referrals or generate referrals to get to help you utilize that program, because that's a fantastic program for buyers. I guarantee there's a lot of buyers out there that don't know about that. There's probably a lot of buyers out there working with other agents right now that are ready and willing and able to write offers. And if they heard about that, then they would certainly consider you. $20,000 is a pretty great incentive to use you and to use Prospect Mortgage. So Brian, what are the details on that?
Hey guys. So what we're talking about is the City of Dallas Mortgage Assistance Program. And there's a couple different programs for existing homes. It's going to be about $8,500 that's available for down payment assistance and closing costs. And then your new construction home buyers are going to have up to $20,000. Now, it is a mortgage assistance program, so there are some income limits. It's going to be 80% of the average income for the area, metropolitan statistical area. But get together with me if you have any interest, and I'd be happy to help build your knowledge with that and create more business.
So one of the things, the first question that I have is, okay, well, where is their new construction inventory that's available for about $150,000 that these lower income candidates can qualify for? So I know KB Homes is one. KB Homes is building new construction in the southern sector, starting around $150,000. They are not really marketing this a lot. I did forward an email last week from the regional sales manager, Olga, about a grand opening that they had, but they've already sold a lot of what they have coming out of the ground. So their pricing is going to go up very fast. KB Homes will probably be raising their pricing probably 5 to 10% just in the next 30 to 60 days. So timing is really critical on this, guys. Put that out on Facebook. You know of new construction inventory available, but educate yourselves on it first. If you're in the southern sector, if you're in areas that qualify for this City of Dallas financing. So keep that in mind. All right, thank you, Brian. One quick announcement. We have the State Fair. We're going Thursday afternoon, so keep that in mind. And then also the NAR conference, November 7th through the 9th. If you're going, let me know. And then we have our sales meeting. I believe it's next Tuesday, so keep that in mind, 11:15 to noon, and then lunch following. And we have a great presentation next week too. So look forward to you guys having a productive and profitable week. Sorry about the technical glitch. Take care.